Being undercover means you're under the protection of God. We held up an umbrella and we talked about how that God, as long as we're under Him, that we have protection from what comes down on our life. And isn't that amazing? Yet many of us, at least through the course of my life, I have dropped the umbrella, then complained to God, Father, what's going on? Why is everything getting me wet and keeping me soggy and messed up? And He was trying to indicate to me, like I was trying to indicate to you, He's made a way to stay undercover, but we have to be smart enough to get out of the ring. Can somebody say it's tight, but it's right? Yes. All right. On those very same subject, I want to pick up, and we're actually going to put a translation of the Bible up, and I want to read that, and I also want to read a different translation at some of these scriptures, so don't think I'm schizophrenic and I can't read, all right? I'm going to read it off my notes. Luke chapter 22, verse 31 and 32. Let's read that together. Luke chapter 22, verse 32. Hallelujah. There we go. Simon, Simon, Peter, listen. Satan has asked excessively that all of you be given up to him out of the power and keeping of God, that he may sift all of you like grain. Let's look at 32. Hallelujah. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Let's read that again. I have prayed for thee. This is Jesus talking. And let's read this together on three, what he prayed for. 1, 2, 3. That thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. I want to particularly pay close attention to the word faith. Does anybody know what faith is? Can we just go all the way back to elementary school in the church? Is that okay? It's been a little while since I've talked about faith, and I just feel like it's very, very important because Jesus in this prayer said, out of all the things I could pray, I'm going to pray that your faith fail not. Okay, let's try it this way. Jesus was saying, I want you to understand things will get so tough, you will be tempted for your faith to go bankrupt. You will be tempted for your faith to fail and not work. And out of everything I could ask, if you can have faith through your times of distress, and not get so discouraged that your faith could be your strength, I know you're going to make it. So I believe it's so important that if Jesus was praying for us to have faith, then we should have some faith. Anybody with me? One of the misconceptions I found through my life is many people assume people have faith when everything looks good on the outside. In other words, if they're wearing nice clothes and they have a nice car and everything appears to be nice on the outside, that's considered a person of great faith, right? Has anybody ever just viewed anybody like that? Anybody human in here at all besides myself? It would be very easy to see people that appear to have no struggle in life to look at them as people of great faith. And I want you to know that generally people are of great faith in those cases, but we do have to understand at the extreme opposite spectrum of everything, it takes more faith when you don't have things working to keep going. And I want to talk to the group of people that's not in the category that life has worked itself out for you, but I do want to talk to those that feel like giving up and quitting and are so frustrated you want to bury your head in the sand like the ostrich and pretend everything's fine and everything's gone away. I've been tempted to do it, and I want to step on your toe, and I realize it's hard to shout when I'm standing on your foot. But I believe if we could ever get to the point we could understand that the enemy's job is to so distract us on the outside that it causes us to forget what God showed us on the inside. And I feel like that's so paramount and so life-changing. I'm going to say that several more times to make sure you get it before we send you home. Because the very job description of the enemy is to get you so convinced of what's going on around you contradicts what God has done in you that you want to give up and lose faith. Somebody say faith. Faith. Jesus was very, very specific to what he prayed for because Satan is very good at causing distraction. And for you to come out of the season you're in, it's important that your faith remain intact and that your faith doesn't go bankrupt. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Let's look at this together. Hebrews 11, 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Can you try saying that for me? Faith is what? The substance hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Can I mess with you just a little bit? Does anybody believe that when all the Bible was written, it was written in English? Anybody? Do we have any takers in the auction at all tonight? So that's right, exactly. So for us to really understand it, we don't necessarily have to rely totally on the English version. Can I play with it just a little bit? Did you know in Greek and Hebrew, the original text, there is no word to translate the word the? And they actually put that in there to make it proper English. So if we really read it how it was written, let's put that back up. Hebrews 11, chapter 1. What does it say? If we really read it how it was really written tonight, Hebrews 11 and 1 tells us, now faith is substance. Substance. Now faith is substance. And if we really look at the word substance, we find that it's derived from two different words. Somebody say sub. That's not Subway, even though it is in a sense, not where the sandwiches come from. And the second word is stance. Two words came together, collided, made up a word called substance or substance. The first word, sub, it indicates it's where we get the same description for Subway underneath the ground, not the place where you get the sandwiches. Somebody say Subway. Have you ever seen a Subway on top of the way? It's always underneath it, right? The word stance means to have stability and to be stable, to have a platform that holds you up. Somebody say he's going somewhere. We're talking about faith is substance. Two words. Faith, in essence, is something that gets underneath you, gives you a platform to stand on, causes you to be stable. Yes. Faith is substance. Yes. It gets underneath you and causes you to stand. Substance. Somebody say substance. Anybody ever been to a science class at all? Biology, anything. Substance. You would also find that the word substance is a scientific term. Am I telling the truth or am I making it all up? Substance. One definition of substance from a scientific perspective is that substance is a material that's derived from several different elements that ordinarily don't mean anything by themselves, but when they come together, what happens is that they form a thing called substance. Somebody say substance. What I find so interesting is generally the thing that it forms has the ability to transform because many different elements make it up. If you really want to know where I'm going, let's talk about water just for a second. Water in the scientific world is called substance. Somebody say substance. We're talking about faith. Water is substance because you can put it in a pot on a stove eye, turn the heat up, and as it begins to boil, that water will be transformed into steam or water vapor, right? Take the very same water because it's a substance and put it in a freezer and it will become a solid, but it's still water. It becomes ice because it's a substance. If faith is a substance, we have to understand what a substance is in relation to a scientific perspective. Faith, in essence, is something that has the ability to transform into something when it's affected by the atmosphere that it's in. Can I just take just a second and preach on it? What faith is, in essence, is that it mutates and forms and takes upon the shape of the environment that it's in and gives you the ability to undergird you, to get underneath you, to cause you to be stable in rocky times, gives you something to stand on that holds you. And if I could get just a fraction of a little bit of help in here tonight at all, I promise I'd feel so much better when I left. But anyway, what I'm talking about in essence is that faith is a substance, and a substance has to be made up of many different elements. We on the same page? Let me just go ahead and finish this verse. It's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. The evidence of things not seen. My previous job, I had to collect evidence. When somebody did something bad, I had to go in, get a little baggie, and put the rubber gloves on, collect the evidence, put it in a little bag with a red tape, sign initials on it, because the evidence was important, because the evidence was necessary to prove that the action took place as they said it did. But the problem is it says this evidence can't be seen. So if we're talking about faith, faith is something that transforms according to the situation that I'm in, that undergirds me, causes me to be stable, yet you can't see the evidence of why I'm stable on the outside because it's not a principle, it's only outside, it's something on my inside because it is sub, which is underneath or down inside of something. Are you with me? Substance. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Somebody say hope. You realize how powerful hope is? If you simply have hope, you can make it through anything in your life. Don't ever minimize hope. Generally, when I talk to people that's in crisis situation, the first thing I want to know is, do you still have some hope? Because if you show me somebody that has just a fraction, just a mustard seed amount of hope, you can do anything and make it through anything in your life because hope is powerful. Hope is simply the ability to realize that where you are now is not where you have to stay. And if I'm talking to anybody right now that can understand that if you just have the ability to believe that God does have something better for you, and that where you are now is a choice, that you do not have to stay there, but you too can reach in, and tomorrow can be better than today. With that hope, it gives you evidence, even though you can't see it on the outside. It's because it's not a physical principle. It's an emotional, spiritual, down in your soul principle that causes you to be undergirded, that causes you to be stable, that through the process, whatever situation you're in,